I'm Nana Farika. The time has come for the lioness to tell her story from her viewpoint and tell the world who Queen Omega is. This is the lion's voice.
What do you have to tell the people about Ras Tafari?
Light to the world. The king of kings and the conquering lion of the tribe of Judah. I left himself. Where's my ruler? Hey yo! Yeah. Hail him high, hail the black king, born the 23rd of July. So tell them guy, who praise God up in the sky, it's a lie. The Almighty living on your night. From ancient time, them a try. Them Romans, though them just open them suit and ties. Criminals ain't got no alibi, they stole my people. Then them come without them genocide.
Are you talking about slavery?
Them couldn't kill. The lion will come conquer Judah tribe. Go through tribulation, I and I strive, see sufferation, I and I still rise. That's why we tell them, in America, live Rastafari in every ghetto area. We come to tell them, in a Toronto, straight at Evo.
In terms of the Rastafari, what was that journey like? Young, middle class, Jamaican, which we know in Jamaica at that time, Rastafari was frowned upon. Particularly
Yes.
middle class and upper class. You weren't uptown, but you're not downtown. So what was that journey like?
Well, it was quite an interesting journey, because I always gravitated towards the Rastafari philosophy. I was really intrigued when sometimes I would just stand on the side of the road and I see a Rastaman pass by, and in those days, the brethren were quite vocal, and they would fire burn the people when they see them some harsh ways, So I was really intrigued by that kind of behavior. Sometimes shocked too.
Yes,
But I was always gravitating towards that kind of, even growing up,
yes.
Sister Nanny, the other day, a virgin asked me why am I called Sister Nanny, and before I could even respond, another virgin said, because she's a warrior, And in my school days, I really didn't take kindly to anybody trying to in any way physically abuse me. In those days you go to school and the boys would want to take away the ball and do all that kind of foolishness. I remember with my mother used to always threaten me, because she said, but every day she's getting reports of me fighting and even fighting for other people, and what happened, the other people can't defend themselves, and she used to threaten me and say she's going to come to school and beat me with a mop stick.
Wow.
So that I feel shame, in front of others, But even the day when I was doing common entrance, common entrance is the exam before GSAT.
Yes.
I did the common entrance in the first morning, the first part, and then we went out to lunch. I don't recall specifically how the fight started, but I did my share of fighting, and then brushed down the clothes and fixed up back and went in and finished up the common entrance.
But the name is appropriate. Based on
yes, it is. And my father, we're from the Maroon line, because my father's family, he came from Portland, and he's connected to the Maroons. He's Rowe, so
yes.
The Rowe surname is strong within the Maroon clan.
I'm familiar.
And, so it is quite appropriate, Yeah, I really don't. I don't take foolishness.
Well,
from long time, way back.
We give thanks. So, in terms of when was your first awareness of His Majesty? You're coming out of university, you see the Rastafari.
Well, yes. It is in that period of waiting to get a job after I left, graduated from the university. In fact, we didn't do the graduation ceremony yet, but usually this classes finish around about June or so, and graduation would normally take place around about December. So I was waiting to get a job, and in that period of searching and introspection, I I um I used to read the Bible a lot, and in reading Revelation 5, and seeing the whole Revelation, I read it because I remember when I was going to school. I at one time was you would say you're a Christian, you're in that sense of the word, and I was kind of, I used to always sit and wonder why it is that the preachers don't preach from Revelation. They would get the lessons taken from all different parts of the Bible, but the sermon would never focus on Revelation. So at one point I went to the pastor and asked him, how come? You don't usually quote from the Revelation. And he said, well, to be frank, they don't fully understand it, so they kind of steer away from it. So him telling me that now even got me more interested now in trying to find out what it is in Revelation that they would not understand. So after leaving university, I had some time on my hands, and I sat down and read Revelation. And it just was so very clear to me, because in economics we would learn about the European Union. The European Union started initially with 10 nations in Europe coming together, and it just came clear to me. I said, but this is clear, that all these beasts and these dragons and whatever, you can see that it's talking about Europe and these nations that have come together. And in part of Revelation, it talk about beware of those who say they are Jews and are not.
Yes.
The synagogue of Satan.
Yes.
And I said, but look, if you look at it, even the synagogue, these Jews who say that they are Israelis, are in fact, they are the only ones who really worship in a synagogue. And that is in Revelation from that time, the section about His Majesty, the Lion of Judah, and so it is from there that it really became more concrete, the idea, and so I started reading now more about His Majesty, reading from the selected speeches of His Majesty, reading about his history, and getting a closer and clearer understanding of the trad, and I would always seek out Rastafari brethren, reason with them, and so it is that I have been treading from that time.
Okay. So from 77 till now, treading in the movement, as long as I've been on this earth, we give thanks for that, those years. What were some of the seminal, I'm the reading Ras, so I have to ask you, what were some of the seminal books that you read on this trad that you would also recommend to others who are along the journey? Because I have a lot of my viewers that, from all over the world that, ask questions from time to time in terms of, strengthening their journey. What books were critical?
Well, I got my, early in the trad, I got my hands on selected speeches of His Imperial Majesty.
Critical.
That is really critical, because you get to see how he was thinking and what he was doing and what reasons he was doing them for, and so on. And then the autobiography now is also a very, 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 very useful book to read, because you look at the life and treadings of His Imperial Majesty, and what particularly impressed me is when he went to England.
Yes.
And the way in which the Archbishop of Canterbury
yes
addressed him and spoke about him.
Yes.
I really would recommend that, you know, all who do not know, find the autobiography and read it. It is really, really, really very...
and it's really a manual of how to deal with your lowest point, because remember, he was in exile writing it. But the dignity, you know, the certainty of the victory, you can see in those pages. And because we have to remember that this was 1937.
But no, the Archbishop of Canterbury addressed him when he was traveling out before 1930.
Okay, that was in 1924, the visit.
Yes,
to
right,
England.
when he was regent.
But I'm saying that the work, the overall autobiography as a work, was created when he was in exile in England.
Yes.
So he was really at a low point in the trial of having the kingdom stripped.
Right.
But when you read, you know, even the preface, and you know, he tells you for certainty this is just for a time, you know, and we are confident in the victory. So I tell brethren, you know, when you're going through something so serious, you feel down or you feel depressed, that's a great book to read, to know that there's enough, you know, if you stay the course.
But, you know, it is all the different countries and dignitaries that meet him, they are themselves in awe of him.
Yes.
You know, and so you know that he's really the King of Kings.
Yeah, Rastafari, Emperor Haile Selassie I. Tell the people about Empress Mene. Well, even if the stars they fall and the moon turn into blood, but to the coming while we stand tall, I will shower you with my love. And even when the people start ball, cause they see the city streets them flood, but when the hurricane blow down their wall, I'll be by your side and me nah budge. Think I found the love of a lifetime. I love you every day or the night time. Almighty, I made your light shine, and unto I, your love was a lifeline. Think I found the love of a lifetime. I love you every day or the night time. Almighty, I made your light shine, and unto I, that light was a lifeline. It seems like the world is upside down. I will never hide, I'd rather stand my ground. Lion of Judah blessed with the triple crown. Can't come fool I with no circus clown. Now fear no hurricane or the cyclone. Respect for Mama Earth with that embedded on me bone. That's why I will never leave you alone. Protect you from harm when the alarm sound. So even when the stars they fall and the moon turn into